Mistress of the Dark. Her book, yours truly, Elvira, Memoirs of Mistress of the Dark, is available at all outlets. She has other few projects coming out we'll talk about. She's here to talk about this wonderful career. Please welcome Cassandra Peterson. You get the big couch.
Ready? Can you hear me? All right, let me know if you can't hear me, okay? Hello, Myron.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm glad to be back in Chicago. It's been a really long time since I was here. I don't know when it was. Long time.
Well, you've been there and back again, travel-wise, so.
I have.
No, absolutely. So real quick, we covered some of this last time we had a chat with, but well, first and foremost, let's talk about these new stuff that you're doing right now. So you have a cookbook.
I do. I have Elvira's Cookbook from Hell coming out. Yeah, I have wanted to do like an entertainment kind of book for years and years and years. I don't know why. I saw Martha Stewart and I go, I can do that. But this is all recipes that it's not, particularly for Halloween, although Halloween would be a good time to make some of them. But it's for all year round, for that goth lifestyle. There are decorating tips. There are, tips how to do floral arrangements. But there's things like a beautiful picnic for two at a graveyard, and goth wedding, of course, and romantic dinner for 8 at your, at Aunt Morgana's house. I do teach you how to make my famous casserole. Yes, where you do have to sit on the potato chips. But anyway, I'm excited about this book coming out. Yeah, so Elvira's Cookbook from Hell, and I really think it's going to be a fun keepsake, no matter what, whether you cook or not. I'm not that great of a cook, but still, I can do it if I have to. Anyway.
No, there's absolutely history with it. I mean, they re-released Vincent Price's cookbook a while ago, and there's some wonderful dishes in that. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too. I have 6 copies of those of that Vincent Price cookbook. Yeah. People keep giving it to me, which I love. I'm like, okay.
No, absolutely. And you have another thing. Can't go into too many details, but you do have something else on the horizon, literature-wise, for the little ones.
I do. I wrote a children's book. I go, why not? It's Elvira's first book of monsters. And come on now, every little kid has to be introduced to them at some point, right? So I wrote this really cute little board book. We're not exactly sure about when it's coming out, but I think it'll be around the end of summer. But it's a perfect gift for that little monster in your life. So I think you guys are going to enjoy it. There's also a glow-in-the-dark cover, and it's really a fun little book. I'm happy that I got to do it.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Well, I think we're all interested in that, right? Yeah! All right, very good. And both those will be out in time for the Christmas season, so they'll be excellent gifts. Me too. Oh, wow. So, a couple of things. First and foremost, real quick, I've heard this story. I would love to share with the audience. So, real briefly, what was the origin story and how you fell into this peculiar character you've been synonymous with for all these years?
Yeah, I don't know. Most of you probably know about this story, how I got to be Elvira. It's certainly in my book, yours truly. But yeah, it was just a local television station in LA looking for a host because they had a huge library of old, I wouldn't call them A-list movies, but they had a huge catalog of them, and they were looking for a host. There had been a former host named Seymour. Did anybody ever hear of Seymour or see Seymour? Nope, you're not old enough. That's one person. Okay.
One.
Sinister Seymour was in the LA Hollywood area, and he had passed away, and so they were looking to replace him. And I eventually got the gig. And went through a long process, which, like I said, I won't go into here, but you can read about it in my book. But once I got the gig, I had to come up with a character. They wanted me to be Vampira, I gotta tell you guys right now. They wanted to call it Vampira, and that didn't work out. That was a whole long story, but I don't know if you know, she sued me. I am so happy and glad that we didn't end up calling it Elvira. We literally pulled a name out of a coffee can, and it was Elvira. It was like, okay, whatever. Anyway, and I started hosting more movies in the LA market, and after a little while, I was able to get them syndicated across the country, so a lot of people in different areas of the country got to see the show too. And from there, kind of springboard into making a movie and doing lots and lots of other projects. So that's how it started out.
When did you begin to realize that the character was kind of eclipsing the LA market? Because I know you said before that you were kind of like, they almost kept it a secret from you, that how it was becoming like a national thing and stuff like that. When did you sort of realize that, oh, hey, like, you know me, you know?
Yeah, I think I realized it when I was invited to go on the Johnny Carson Tonight Show, which, again, most of you weren't even born yet, but at one time there was only like one TV host. There was only really one, and he was the main one. It was the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, and when you were on that show, it was a big, big deal. It was like, okay, I'm famous now, and they got invited on that show, and that really was just the taking off point of getting a syndicated deal to go across the whole United States. So very lucky break.
The gig that keeps gigging.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you, 46 years later, I'm still doing it.
We just lost him recently. He was a favorite of mine. You got to work with Richard Chamberlain on Alan Quartermain and the City of Gold. A fun movie, kind of a time capsule movie for its time. There's some things that don't work over well, but a really fantastic cast, and it got you out of the Elvira character for a little bit into a more an equally interesting costume, and I'll leave it at that. But what was your experience like on that?
In Lost City of Gold?
Yeah.
Oh, it was intense. It was with Sharon Stone and oh dear God, who we just lost recently, James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones.
Yeah. He was the voice of Darth Vader, in case you guys haven't heard of him.
I think they know.
Amazing actor. And yeah, that movie was tough. It was 3 months in Zimbabwe, Africa, in a tiny little town, a village. And I gotta tell you, it was a trip, man. Whoa, I mean, coming to my makeup trailer in the morning, and somebody would have to run in and chase the baboons out of my trailer. It was weird, and they're scary animals. I don't know if you know. I mean, I love animals, but I don't want baboons in the trailer while I'm doing my makeup. And warthogs coming and trying to eat all the food around the trailer and surrounding you. And it was a real experience. I mean, a wonderful experience. I loved Africa. It was an amazing experience. But I became dear friends with Richard Chamberlain, the star of that. I don't know if you guys, any of you. Again, everybody's too young to know this stuff. But like Dr. Kildare, and then he went on to do Shogun, and oh my God, what was the big one where he played
Thornbirds.
Priest Ralph? Yes, Thornbirds. But I was just in. This was really weird timing. I went over to Hawaii, where Richard lives, to celebrate his 91st birthday, and we had a wonderful birthday party for him that all of his friends came to, and it was this beautiful, beautiful night, and I was so happy I went. That the day I was leaving, you know, I got to tell him goodbye, and I love you, and anyway, sorry. And then when I got on the plane, they called that he had fallen down and had a stroke and died. And anyway, so. But we were really close friends for like 35 years. And he was an amazing actor and an amazing man. So, that was so, sorry guys. Everybody's dropping dead around me. It's like, dropping dead like flies. Damn, every time I come to a convention, I'm sitting here talking about my best friend who just died. I'm just going next week to my friend Lynn Stewart's memorial in LA, who was Miss Yvonne, the most beautiful woman in puppet land. Yeah. It's a bitch getting old.
So much talent, that whole Groundlings cast.
Pee Wee, John, Phil Hartman, everybody is like, wow. Okay, I'm the last man standing.
Well, let's go to something good. That just all these years, all this time you spent with this wonderful character. What's been the best thing to come out of all this?
Money. No.
Oh, honest answer. Okay.
No, honest to God, the best thing to come out of it, honestly. I mean, the money doesn't hurt, let me tell you. Finally making money and being able to pay your payments and, live like a normal human being after being an actor for 20 odd years is a nice little perk. But having people come up to me, and today I've had so many, and it means so much to say how I helped them, how the character of Elvira helped them through their life in difficult moments, and they felt like an outsider. They felt like, they didn't fit in, and that they could see Elvira in Mistress of the Dark and make, it made them feel like, okay, I might be a freak, but look, so is she, and she does okay. She's working it. So that is honestly the best part of this job, and it is amazing. And it's kind of unexpected. I mean, it's such a wacky character. You don't really think, oh, there's such a big influence on people. Now, I know I was a big influence on her and her. I can see that, yeah, but I don't know about everybody else. Anyway, it's a wonderful part of being the character, and if that's all it got me, then that is more than enough. It's fantastic.
Absolutely. Well, before I go on and take some of their questions, I've told you this before, but I'll say it again. I just want to thank you. I want to thank you for your talents and your professionalism and for all the performances you brought. Not only is this character, but all the other work you've done, and you've been a friend to the horror fandom for such a long time, and horror fandom needed that. I love my Gorehound brothers and Leatherface and all that stuff too, but you became this exemplar of the fun, spooky, playfulness, mischievousness side of the Halloween spooky culture, and you've carried that as a responsibility, and thank you so much for that.
Thank you ever so much. I really appreciate that. And I think sometimes that's missing from the horror community, which I love, of course, but the humor. You need a little bit of that to go with the blood and guts and gore. I mean, the humor takes the edge off, and I'm glad I'm able to kind of do that.
And it goes all the way back to Zachary himself, goofing on the stuff there too. And again, thank you for you've also raised awareness of LGBT among the horror community as well. Thank you. I'm going to jump on here, and we'll do a line. And like I said, one question at a time, no request. We'll do a line. I'm not going to do it Donahue style. They're old enough to get that reference, so it's all right. Okay, you're the chatter one, so we'll get you first this time. Okay. Hi, what's your name?
My name is Jackie. Hi, Cassandra. I just had a quick question. Obviously, being in Chicago, Svengoolie is kind of our local horror host. And I know you guys have worked, or at least, it had interviews together. I just wanted to talk about your relationship with Rich, if you guys, gotten together and traded tips before.
We have some great pictures together that we've done, and never got the opportunity to work together. I love your show that's on, the one now that's on. I mean, I just think he's like one of the ultimate horror hosts of all time. And never, unfortunately, got a lot of time to hang with him. We're always working, but I certainly appreciate everything he's done in the horror community. And yeah, I mean, he's right up there at the top. Thank you.
You had two bring the first one. Hello again. Oh boy, Bill had fun with you, didn't he? Absolutely. Okay, what was your name again?
My name's Rob. So in your memoir, I don't know why it's stuck in my head, but when you were first going to a showgirls show when you were 16 or 17, which I know it's weird that I know that was the memoir, but you were picked out of the crowd by some guy that was producing the show, and was it that random, or was that prearranged? Did he just see you and just like, hey, you want to be in the show?
It was very strange, but in order to look old enough to be in the show, which I had to be 21 and I was only 17, so in order to look old enough, I put on like the tightest, sexiest thing I owned. I put in like 5,000 bust pads to make my boobs gigantic. I had major cleavage. I put on a little wiglet on my head, so my hair was all up. I put on about 4 pairs of eyelashes, top and bottom. I mean, I just dressed up to look like that. So when I came in, the maitre d', who was the person who kind of discovered me, just thought I was a showgirl because nobody there had on that much makeup. So he just asked me if I was a showgirl in town, and I was like, no, I was afraid I was going to be busted and carted off to jail with my mom and dad. And then he said, I don't know, the next thing, this woman, Fluff, came out and asked if I wanted to audition for the show that they were auditioning for the next day. And my parents weren't wild about the idea, but that really never, hindered me in any way. So, yep, I got the part.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, what's your name?
Chrissy. So you have several pinball machines out. They're all awesome. But how was making House of Horrors? Like picking all those B movies to put in it and doing all the lines. Was there like a favorite part for you?
Yeah, I loved. I love them all. Particularly, I think I like Scared Stiff. It's one of my favorites. It's the one I have at home in my little girl cave or whatever it's called. And I got to pick out a lot of stuff. I mean, I got to okay everything in all the games, all the art. I didn't do it, of course, but I was always run by me, and I got to okay it. And I got to stick in a lot of secret messages in the games throughout the years. On one of the little gravestones, I have my parents. I put Dale and Philly. My mom's name was Phyllis, but I put rest in peace, Dale and Philly. They weren't dead yet, so I don't know if that was such a good idea. And then I put Yo Travis. You'll see a little thing written up there. That was my old boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend before he got married. And then I have I Heart Marky, my ex-husband. I wish I could erase that. And all kinds of little messages in there I got to do. And of course I got to come up with some of the lines, whatever lines I wanted. They did a pretty good job of giving me lines, but I got to kind of improvise. So yeah, I had a pretty big hand in all of the machines. I'm very proud of them. They've been doing really, really great. Thanks.
Great, thank you. Hey, what's your name?
My name's Ken. Hi, Cassandra. Hi. So Elvira, the character, is just so funny, and I just wondered if you had a hand in, like, the writing, if that was scripted or improv, if off the cuff.
I write everything. I wrote for 24 years with my writing partner, John Paragon. I've had subsequent partners. I do better writing with a partner. I do write stuff alone. I wrote my book, Yours Truly, by myself. I wrote the children's book by myself. I wrote the cookbook with help from the person who actually knows how to cook. So I do the writing. I mean, I wrote Mistress of the Dark along with John Paragon, our writing partner, and Sam Egan, who the studio wanted to have there, and who was wonderful. So yeah, that's how that works. All right, that's my main thing.
Yeah, thank you. And those who don't know, John Paragon was also Jambi on Pee-wee's Pee-wee show.
Yeah, Pee-wee's Playhouse, Jambi the Genie, and he was Terry the Pterodactyl, and he wrote and directed most of the episodes of that show.
Hey, what's your name?
Michael. Hey, this plays right into what you were just talking about, but what was it like working with Paul Rubens?
I loved working with Paul Rubens. We didn't work together a ton, but we just hung out together all the time. I mean, Paul was one of my oldest and dearest friends. Don't get me started again. Anyway, he and I I think we met in 1974 and spent so much time together over our whole lives. It was really very close. And you guys have to see his documentary. I'm going to the God, I don't know if anybody's, I don't think you could have seen it yet. I got to see it because I'm special. But I am going to the premiere next week in LA, next week or the week after in LA of the documentary. But you guys are gonna love this documentary. It is fantastic. I mean, there was stuff in there even I did not know about Paul, and honest to God, I thought I knew everything. I mean, and I know his parents and his siblings, and I've known him for so many years. There was some stuff in there that I was like, are you kidding me? I never heard that. So yeah, just being with him. He was just one of the most brilliant freaking comedians that ever lived. And I think when you see this documentary, you'll get where all of this stuff about Pee Wee came from. It's kind of like, it all clicked into place for me, you know, when I saw the movie. Because before I thought I was just a random character, but honest to God, I think it's been brewing in his head since he was born. So thanks for asking about it.
Thank you. Great one. Hey, what's your name?
My name's Justin. My question is, what do you usually do on Halloween?
Work. Halloween, when I grew up and when I was a teenager in my early 20s, were my favorite holiday. My parents owned a costume shop, so it was a very busy time. I was working even then. So it was a very busy time for me. And once I became Elvira, it became a job. It's kind of a bummer. I mean, not that I don't have fun on Halloween, but I have to wear the same old costume every year. I don't get to go to parties because I'm working. I don't get to trick or treat or be home for trick or treaters. So yeah, it's kind of become a job. But I mean, I love it as much as ever. It's just very, you know, obviously, hello, I'm Elvira, Queen of Halloween.
There you go. Thank you. Good one. Hey, what's your name?
I'm Brian. So you kind of touched on some of your fellows, but what was it like being a groundling? How do you enjoy groundling? How do you enjoy that experience?
The Groundlings?
Yes.
Yeah, oh my God, the Groundlings were everything to me. I mean, it was like, you know, some people, you get older and you think about high school and it was the greatest time of your life, or college, or greatest time. For me, it was the Groundlings. That's where I made my lifelong friends. That's where I learned to do comedy. And it's just super important to me. I can't tell you how important. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Groundlings, but it's an LA comedy improv group. And everybody has come out of that group. I mean, definitely half the cast of all Saturday Night Lives have come out of there. Will Ferrell, Mary McCarthy, is that her name? Oh my God, the list is endless of the people that came from the Groundlings. So
whoever didn't come from Second City here in Chicago.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. That's pretty much it. Yeah. If you weren't in Second City, you were in the Groundlings. Yeah, so it was a great experience. Thank you.
Hi, this is very lovely. Good job. What's your name?
Tanya. How was working with RuPaul's Drag Race?
I love working on RuPaul's Drag Race. I've known RuPaul for years and years and years, way before he did his show, and even before he had a talk show before that. And so I've known RuPaul forever. I've known all drag queens forever, I have to tell you, really. So working on the show it's pretty intense. There's a lot going on there. It's not like you're having fun and games. It's kind of like, sit down, do the thing, no, you know, because they only have a certain amount of time to shoot, and it's very serious work. But I love doing the show. I love watching the show. I love all the queens that are on there and that have come from there. So many. It's such a proving ground for so many. Yeah, it's fantastic.
It was cute.
Okay. Thank you, Maleficent.
Thank you. For you, yeah.
Hi, Byron.
Okay, come on, let's do a walk. Let's do a walk. This is too good. Let's do a walk of shame.
Woo, good job. Hair's fantastic. Good job.
Okay, so from the camera. What's your name?
My name is Tiffany. So who do you think was the funniest person on the set of Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, and what's your favorite story about them?
Funniest person in the movie, Mistress of the Dark? Me. I have so many stories about her. She's so special to me. No, the funniest person, I mean, there were a lot of funny people. There were a lot of really good actors in that movie. But honestly, who was the funniest? I thought Edie McClurg, who was also Groundling, was just perfect as Chastity Pariah. And I wish John Paragon played the gas station attendant, my writing partner, and John Genie. He played the gas station attendant that I blew up. I wish he could have been in the movie more and had a bigger part, because he's really one of the funniest people in the whole entire world. But we kind of tried to populate the movie with Groundlings, even though there weren't that many parts open for them, you know. So a lot of pissed off Groundlings ended up in the end. But anyway, yeah, Edie McClurg was so perfect for that part. I mean, we wrote that part around her, because when I used to come in to do the Groundlings, she'd see me in the mirror behind her and she'd go, "Oh, you're not wearing that on stage, I hope." I mean, she was like that all the time. It was like, so she was perfect for that part.
Great,
Yeah,
thank you.
thanks.
Hi, what's your name?
Ellie. Hi, do you have any advice for somebody who wants to be a horror host?
Wow, advice for somebody who wants to be a horror host. Stay out of the way of the front of my car. Just kidding. No, it was a little tougher out there these days, because getting the rights to the films is really hard. But it can be done, and you can be on, online and do it. Just not even get the rights, just show clips. But developing a horror character, I'm going to tell you kind of how I did it. It's like and I hope this is PC. If there's anybody Chinese out there, I sort of went like a Chinese restaurant menu. I picked one from column A, one from column B, and one from column C. 3 things that didn't really go together: humor, sex, and horror. And I combined them, and it worked, strangely. I didn't know if it would or not. But so if you pick like 3 odd things and put them together, you'll come out with something unique. So give that a try.
Okay, I look forward to hosting you on this stage.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, what's your name?
Hi, Cassandra. My name is Kaylee, and I would like to ask you what your first thoughts or reactions were once you finally nailed what we all know to be the signature Elvira look.
Oh, well, I loved it. I mean, my best friend at the time, a guy named Robert Redding, he and I talked over what it should be. I got the part. I got look scary, but they wanted me to look sexy. And he came up with that dress, and he made that dress, cut it out, sewed it, everything. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. And he gave it a little 60s vibe with the hair that was based on his favorite singer, Ronnie Spector from the Ronettes. And we gave it like a little 80s flair with a little leather jewelry with the studs and everything, like a little metal flair, And anyway, when I got the costume, I loved it. People were like, "Aren't you embarrassed to be seen in that dress? What will your parents think?" And I said, "They are just happy I'm wearing clothes." So they're fine. Yeah. So I loved it. Thank you. Thank you.
Great question. Thank you. Hey, what's your name?
My name's Lewis. You got to work with the great Gonk, and I just wanted to know what happened to Gonk.
Well, Gonk was a dog, so he died quite a long time ago. The movie's been out now, 35 years, I think. He would be an old damn dog. But
Gonk is on a farm chasing rabbits.
Yes, he's in heaven, or hell, probably, because he's the meanest little bastard. He really was. And I love dogs, but I gotta tell you, this dog bit a couple people on set. He bit Kurt Fuller, the real estate agent. He bit him for real, really bad on the ankle. He tried to bite me several times, but I was too fast for him. But his name was Benny, and he was a little trained dog for the movie business. And there were actually 3 Gonks. There were 3 Gonks doing their parts, because you can't, animals and children, you can't work like ungodly hours. There are labor laws for that. So there were 3 Gonks, but Benny was the main really smart Gonk. So yeah, he's in Gonk heaven. I have a little dog, Vin, do the little pink mohawk on, and He's a good stand-in for Gonk. When I walk down the street, people go, "Oh my God, that's just like Gonk from the Elvira movie." And I go, "Yeah, no."
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Great question. Thank you. Hi, what's your name?
Trinity. What was the scariest thing you ever had to do?
The scariest thing I ever had to do? Okay, I know exactly, just like this. It was on Elvira's Haunted Hills. I had this pendulum hanging above me. There was supposed to be a stand-in doing it, and then we found out that she had no boobs at all. And we're going, okay, this is not gonna work. And so at the last minute, I had to stand in laying on this slab of cement with this, I think it was like a 3,000-pound pendulum swinging over my head from top to bottom like this. And I didn't know how good the Romanians were rigging up this stuff, you know? And it kept getting closer and closer and closer, so it would cut the ropes that I was tied with. But I got a big scratch from it across my boob. We had to like cover that with a whole piece of plastic and makeup for the rest of the movie. But that's how close it was, and it was swinging 3,500 pounds of that. I was scared out of my brain. I was just holding my breath. It was really scary. I don't ever want to do that again. Thank you.
Thank you. Green one, of course. Match Beetlejuice and all that.
Thank you.
I'm afraid we're just about out of time, so unfortunately this will have to be our last question. So come on up. Hey, what's your name?
Reese? Thank you for being here and for taking the time to talk to us.
Oh, you're welcome.
I was just wondering if there was a movie that was so bad that you just couldn't even watch it. You had to turn it off halfway through and you didn't even want to show it to people.
Oh my God. There were a lot of, if they were really, really bad, I really, really loved them. There were some that were sort of repulsive, and I hate to say it, I hope Bill Shatner's not listening. You know? The Devil's Rain was some of the creepiest damn movie I ever saw. It really was. And there was another one, Peeping Tom.
Oh, that's
that's a trippy movie, man, if you haven't seen it. And those movies really disturbed me, and neither were that funny. And I had to find jokes, so like things that were really serious were hard to deal with for
I
me.
think they pitched Cannibal Holocaust to you as well, and I remember, I think...
Yeah, I might have turned that down. There was some that I just couldn't do.
There's no humor out of that.
Yeah, no, there's some that you just can't squeeze the humor out of, I gotta tell you.
So, before we go, anything else on the horizon you'd like to share with us?
I've got a couple of other big projects coming up that unfortunately it's too big for me too soon, not too big I hope, too soon for me to mention, but if you go to elvira.com or follow me on Instagram, it's @TheRealElvira. We'll be announcing those within maybe 4 or 5 months. And I'm really, really excited about both of them. But I hope you guys check out my book and you like it. You'll have a fun time with both of those books.